All right, good evening and happy Monday, y'all. Today we have some Jujutsu Kaisen. Usually I do Boruto. So if you one of them G's that love Boruto, fuck it. If you a nigga that love Boruto, go look at some of them videos because the manga's going up right now. The anime last episode was crazy, but today Jujutsu Kaisen. And I will admit from the rip right now, I only have read the first 8 chapters of Jujutsu Kaisen, and the reason I stopped, it stopped like chapter 8. It kind of hits you with like a cliffhanger type thing, at least to a first time reader of the shit. It was like a cliffhanger to me, and I decided right then and there that okay, this is some heat. However, I wanted to wait until the anime came out because I felt like it would be easier to digest and get more involved into the whole universe, at least for me personally. And I just kind of wanted to see, because the whole theme of it seemed as if it was going to be very, not horrific, but just it had that little monsters and occult type vibe, and I wanted to see how that would translate to an animated version. And I wanted to see would it have moments where I jumped in shit, because some of the monsters look crazy, you know. And just to continue on with it, my first point, and I kind of do this similar to the way I do Boruto, so I have points written down, and it's sequential to how the anime rolled out. So it's not necessarily pros and cons, it's just thoughts that occurred in my head while I was thinking. So my first point was like, this anime, it seems to carry on a more mature and edgy vibe, especially with the topic of death. And it's something that I enjoy, because a lot of the times, you know, there are certain animes that are a little bit more childlike, even though it does contain mature content. And this one it's not so kiddie, you know. It seems like you got to be at least 16 to fuck with this shit. And I know if some young niggas watch it, who gives a fuck? Because I know what I used to do when I was a young nigga. But at the end of the day, I'm kind of glad we're not necessarily into some kitty shit, you know. Even though the characters, they cuss, they say bitch, they say shit. It's a different type of vibe with this one. And 2, I feel as if it carries a lot of potential as far as an anime goes. Like I said, I've read the first 8 chapters and stopped on the cliffhanger and prep for the release, and I just wanted to see how scary can they really get it to be. I don't know if it's really one of those things where they focus heavily on trying to scare you, or if it's just the content that it deals with. But I do want to see, are there going to be monsters that I fear myself while watching? Am I going to jump, like I said earlier? Number 3. So kicked off right away, and some of it I noticed, like this first episode was a little bit of a blend of the first 2 chapters, where we didn't really see the end result of the fight that pops off near the end of this episode, but the beginning of this episode kind of teases what happens in the next chapter, you know. So I do enjoy the way they rolled this out. I thought the anime was dope. The anime, like, I don't have any fucking beef with the anime or anything like that. I will get more specific to a certain point later down this list, but Itadori has been shown as an athletic specimen, and it's one of those things where he doesn't seem like he has any superpowers and shit like that. This is not one of those type of things. It just seems like he just has a natural gift. He's like just some supernatural freak on his own biology. He was given that gift. 4, and this is more relating to the universe and how it works. If there's anyone who's watching this can educate me more, because like I said, I'm not coming in here as like a hardcore knowledgeable type dude with this shit. I'm just a new fan, and partially I didn't really want to read too much into the manga because I don't know how this universe operates. I don't know if it's one of those things where you could just watch and be cool, or if it's one of those things where it's like a Naruto or a Boruto, where reading the information actually adds more to the anime and adds more to your repertoire of what you can predict for the future and what's going to happen next. Because Boruto is kind of crazy, man. I don't want to talk about that too much, but let me just move forward. Let me move forward, because you're here for Jujutsu Kaisen. If you want to talk about Boruto, check the motherfucking videos. But what I noticed is, number 4, these curses and these monsters seem to have some type of class rank, and I'm interested in knowing how that develops more. How will I have to digest that information? How am I going to have to do some research on those type of things, like the different, like, because there was a monster on the rugby field and he says, oh, that's a class B rank monster. It's crazy. Maybe the curse, maybe this little talisman I'm looking for is attracting these things. And you know, it sets a standard to what's to come next, because like I said, this is just the first episode and we've seen a pretty decent fight. So it has me thinking, okay, what's gonna come next? Like, I know there's some crazier shit, there's some crazier villains, there's some crazier battles to come, right? Number 5, his grandpa's final words. They were pretty solid, man. Don't be like me. I'm gonna just sum it up. He was just saying, don't be like me. And I'm assuming maybe his grandpa was a bit of an asshole because you see him, he's like a little bit irritated that his grandson is calling him like, fuck, bro, what do you want? Type shit, blah, 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 blah. But he says, don't go out like me, Itadori. Help people as much as you can. You may feel alone and you may feel as if people don't appreciate what you're doing for them, but just do it anyway. Just help them. Don't go out like me. Die correctly. Do not die alone. And it also appears, and this is my sixth point, that it appears that this is Itadori's first experience with death. And this shows his youth. This shows like he's like in high school or some shit. He's joining fucking school clubs and whatnot. Needs electives, doing PE, shitting on his PE teacher. But it's like it's definitely his first experience with death, and this kind of bleeds into his personality and what I like about it. So first of all, point 7, I believe. Yeah, point 7 is Itadori's personality, and I believe it fits well. And it's something that I like because I find him to be likable, based off the fact that he doesn't seem so over dramatic how we typically receive these characters in these fucking shows and shit. And I wouldn't call him stoic, and I wouldn't necessarily say he's like a Shikamaru type where he just so nonchalant and doesn't really have a appetite to do much. And I'm speaking of like a young Shikamaru. And I wouldn't necessarily call him, like I said, I wouldn't call him stoic. I wouldn't call him like a Shikamaru type. But he's more so a go with the flow type of dude. And this comes from when, shit, what the fuck is this dude's name? Fushiguro? I believe his name is Fushiguro. But he's, asking him about like this missing relic. And he says, I sense it on you. Where's it at? He's like, yeah, bro, fuck it. Here, just take this shit. Just explain this shit to my friends because they're going to be upset with you, bro. And he just kind of, just tosses it to him. Like he's like not putting up a fight, and he doesn't. Also, another thing that I like about him is he's definitely chill, but he's not too cool, Like, there's certain characters where they're like, okay, he gets all the fucking bitches. We get it, dog. You have a big dick. We get it, bro. But this guy, he's just laid back. He's easily likable without really trying too much, and he's not really putting in a lot of effort. Like I said, he's not the fucking school jock. He's not the fucking school loser. He just is. He's, like I said, go with the flow, And he's very mature. Like he has a sense of maturity, even though he's youthful, he's very young, but he has this, and I think it has a lot to do with the whole subject matter of death. He's trying to figure out his relationship with death, I'm assuming. Point 9, and this is where we get into some more of the fear things. So there's a point in the episode where they unwrap the finger and they release curses all throughout the school, and the monster is sneaking around, and the boy who's in the fucking occult club, he has a fucking monster on his head walking up towards the girl, and then another monster kind of just grabs her by the face. Now, that wasn't really scary or frightening, but it does tease the potential of where the show could potentially take you, It was a very creepy type of scene, right? He's sneaking up on you. You got a girl hiding and shit. She's scared for her fucking life. These are monsters, And he kind of reaches out and grabs her. So it's like, okay, we're going to get a little sizzle. That's just, it's only episode 1. So we just get a little taste, you know what I'm saying? The universe is still building for us in the anime. And I will also like to say, this dude, number 10, Fushiguro, when he uses his little dog puppet shit, when I first read that in the manga, I emulated that a lot. Like, I would turn off my lights, put on my flashlight, and do that type of shit just to see how it, like, looks in real life. And I'm glad to see it animated. It came out beautifully. And I also think that this dude has the potential to become a favorite character for me. I know a lot of dudes, or like just a lot of people out there seem to gush over that dude with the fucking blindfolds over his eye. I'm assuming he's going to be a beast because, like I said, there's a lot of hype around his name, I'm assuming. Because every time he pops up and I see like these reactions, people like, even in the fucking teasers or the commercials for the show, like people get hyped when they see him. So maybe he's going to be like a Kakashi type dude. I don't know. And I would like to say that my final point is the eating of the finger. They improved it. I liked what they did in the anime versus how they did it in the manga. Whereas in the manga, it kind of just seemed like, because he was standing next to Fushiguro. If you look in the manga, it's Itadori and Fushiguro standing side by side, and they're like trying to put up a fight, and they're like, dog, we're not getting anything. We're not getting anywhere with this fucking curse. You said this thing gives me more power, right? Maybe I should eat it. And he just does it next to him. Whereas in the anime, in this case, he's put into a position where he had to eat the finger. It was like life or death. And he was like, you know what? This is not a way to die, but this could be a way to save everybody. I'm not going to go out like this. He throws a fucking finger in his mouth and swallows it. He does it more in a dramatic sense. And I fucked with it. And then we see him get taken over by the curse. This dude fucking is rampant. He wants to fucking eat babies and fucking murder women. And then we also get back to the point where I'm saying Itadori doesn't come off as if he's too cool, because he gains recontrol of his body while under this like little spell type shit, and he's like, dog, you're in my body. And I have to give it up to like his physical ability. I'm assuming that since he's such a specimen, he can do this type of thing. He's that 1 in a million type dude who could fucking eat the finger and survive. But like I said, he takes control back of his body. He's like, yo, bro, you know this is mine, because the monster's kind of thrown off. Like, how did you get control back? He's like, dog, this is my body. And I'm going to end it there because I'm running out of shit to say. Hopefully you enjoyed my first take on the Jujutsu Kaisen episode. And hopefully it gets scarier because, like I said, I'm expecting it to be a little bit jumpy for me, you know? It was based to come out on in October, pretty much a few days from now, the first episode. So we'll see. And also, because I was watching it on like a little pirate website, so I'm going to try it again to look at it on my main TV when it comes out officially. Look at it on the TV to just get more of the visuals, because I feel like it's going to be a very pleasing show to look at, especially when the fucking monster jumps out the window and shit. When they played it on the preview, that's what got me hyped to watch this shit. Also, I would say with the manga, one of the other reasons why I stopped reading it was because like the way the panels were set up, sometimes it was a little bit hard to follow. And it seems as if there's a lot of side commentary, if I'm not mistaken, like where you may hear like subconscious voices and shit. It was like, it seemed a little bit all over the place, and I felt as if the anime would be more easily digestible, especially since I'm getting into something new. It'd just be more easy for me to visually take it in. And I would like to end it with there. Thank y'all. Jujutsu Kaisen, that was episode 1. Pretty good episode, I would say. I'll give it a solid grade. And if you fuck with Boruto, my nigga, go check out them videos, dog, because Boruto is so underrated. Boruto is the most underrated anime of this generation. I'm just throw it out there. I fuck with Boruto more than My Hero. Let me just say it like this. My Hero gets cut a lot of slack, I feel, because it's a newer anime, or it's just a newer piece of content in general compared to like the Naruto universe and whatnot. Whereas Boruto, I would say, is like the same pace. Boruto goes the same pace as My Hero. It's just as slow. However, Boruto is involved in such a richer universe. It's just like everything makes sense. There's its own science. It's everything, bro. Whereas, you know, My Hero, it's cool. And season 5 is going to take off. Season 5 is going to be the shit. I get it. But it just seems like something's lacking. Something's lacking with it. I told one of my friends at work, like, if My Hero could mix its fights with the quality of that of a Fire Force, then that may take it to the next level. But where I'm at right now, it's just like, it's kind of hard for me to feel a certain way for any of the characters because there's so much of them. But I would end that there. Peace, my niggas. Love.